boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman.
He's always prepared. He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman's breakdown draws a sharp line between pure skill and raw physicality in the Canelo versus Crawford clash. He explains that Crawford's jab has become one of the most dangerous tools in boxing today, controlling range and setting the entire rhythm of a fight. In comparison, Canelo's once razor-sharp jab has faded, forcing him to lean heavier on brute strength and counter shots. Kellerman insists that Crawford's precision, timing, and superior ring IQ could erase Canelo's size edge, showing how tactical brilliance and adaptability might outweigh power when they finally collide.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. paints a striking parallel between the doubts once thrown at Muhammad Ali and the skepticism now circling Terence Crawford. He remembers how countless voices swore Ali could never withstand George Foreman's size and strength. Yet Ali shocked the world with strategy, intelligence, and resilience. Bradley believes the same script is unfolding for Crawford, with critics claiming he can't topple Canelo Alvarez because of the size gap. But Bradley insists greatness isn't about sheer physicality. It's forged in determination, skill, and preparation. He notes Crawford has dedicated a full year of training solely for Canelo, proving his intent to defy the odds, just as Ali once did.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah, they saying Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna even be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight. Because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. Ooh, the weight, he too heavy. Tell, it was weight classes for a reason and all of this crap. Man, you think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Bernie the boxer flat out rejects the claim that Crawford is too small for this fight. He argues that Crawford's frame and physical presence have been overlooked for years, yet his dominance at higher weights tells the real story. Bernie insists Crawford isn't just some undersized fighter moving up recklessly. Instead, he's calculated, intelligent, and fully aware of how to deal with bigger men. In his view, the true deciding factor won't be raw size, but the ability to think, adjust, and outsmart inside the ring. He stresses that Crawford and his team pride themselves on outworking Canelo's camp, and that sharpness could swing the fight Crawford's way.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there. So buzz fights, they're always exciting. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, you know, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. You feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands is like baseball mitts.
Canelo Alvarez enters this matchup with humility and respect, fully recognizing Crawford as a serious threat despite the size gap. In his own words, Canelo admits that at boxing's highest level, weight matters less because true elites know how to adapt and compete across divisions. That admission proves he's not brushing Crawford off as some easy task. Instead, Canelo makes it clear he's locked in with total focus, understanding that skill and discipline will weigh just as much as size and strength. His professionalism shows he knows Crawford's unique style demands more than his usual weapons, and that awareness suggests fans are about to witness both fighters at their very best.
Me, because Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know,
ability make the gap even harder for Crawford to close. While amply admires Crawford's technical sharpness, he views the fight as an uphill climb, believing the physical hurdles will be unavoidable against an opponent like Canelo. His viewpoint brings balance to the debate, spotlighting the genuine risks Crawford faces in stepping up.
The conversations, I'm sure Jim will be hearing them abound. What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once and didn't get a knockout. So, I just don't see it at this moment. I think there is a very obvious assignment out there for Canelo Alvarez, and it isn't Terence Crawford at this moment.
Crawford's decision to climb in weight and face Canelo speaks volumes about his rare ambition. Few fighters dare to gamble their legacy by stepping in with someone naturally bigger. Yet Crawford welcomes that danger head-on. His past jumps into higher divisions already proved his adaptability, especially at 154 pounds, where he showed dominance even against stronger men. At 168, the test is undeniably greater, but Crawford's mix of timing, movement, and surgical accuracy ensures he won't simply fold under size. His confidence in hunting a knockout against Canelo highlights his belief that skill and ring IQ can erase physical disadvantages.
As a southpaw, but basically he can fight in both stances. Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man to make weight, to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys.
Edgar Berlanga applauds Crawford's courage while also offering measured advice. He urges Crawford to never abandon the style and approach that built his success from the start. Berlanga warns that trying to adjust just to match Canelo's size would be a costly mistake. Instead, Crawford must rely on his true weapons: timing, accuracy, and composure. He also notes that moving up 2 divisions actually levels the playing field in a surprising way, making the matchup fairer than many think. Win or lose, Berlanga insists that taking this fight already proves Crawford's greatness, showing his willingness to test himself against one of boxing's most dangerous champions.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. That could be a difference in the fight. Because obviously, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a foot of power. I'm a foot of that size difference, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, we'll just all know that, hey, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
That's it for today's deep dive. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.